everyone, welcome to week one here of online learning for math in action. Week one here is going to be pretty straightforward simply because we have to make sure we first finish up that vacation budget that you worked on last time we were in class. So the first 2 days here of math in action for this week, your job will be simply just to complete this vacation budget project. I will link these attachments here that I'm going to go over again just as review on our Google Classroom again in case you've lost them or you forgot them at school or something. But your vacation project needs to be completed and it needs to be turned in, or you need to share it with me by Saturday at midnight. So again, just as a refresher, and again, you've already been working on this in class for 2 days now. It says your task is to plan a 3-day vacation for either under $2,000 if you're staying in the United States or under $5,000 if you're going to travel internationally. Hopefully, as you've started this already, that you have found places that you actually want to go. This should be a realistic project, and it's kind of a fun one. You can hopefully plan a vacation that maybe someday you can actually go on. If flying, it says here you need to figure out the price of a flight. You'll need to budget how you get around once you get to your desired location. Maybe you're going to get a rental car. How much does that cost? Or maybe you're going to get a bus pass for that couple days that you're there. How much does that cost? If driving, you need to calculate gas expenses to the destination and back from the destination. So for instance, maybe I've decided I'm going to go to Arizona from Fargo and I'm going to drive. You need to figure out what car you're going to take, how many miles it is to get there, what's the average gas mileage for that car. So for instance, if you're going 1,000 miles and your car that you're driving gets about 20, or let's just do something super low, 10 miles per gallon, right? That means you're going to have to buy 100 gallons of gas just to get there. So you'll have to figure out how much does 100 gallons of gas cost, figuring out with kind of the average gas price that you see right now. So you'll have to do a little research there. Each day that you are on your trip, you need to plan one activity or guided tour. So it might be going ziplining one day, or it might be going to a museum one day. You have to figure out obviously where you're going, how much it costs for that activity, so you can figure that into your budget. Each day on vacation, you need to plan 2 meals for each day. I asked that there are different meals, so you can't just say I'm going to McDonald's both days. When you pick where you go, you got to figure out what you're going to actually order when you are there. So I'd ask that you post a picture, you take a little screenshot of the picture of the menu so that you can see, that you can show me how much that item costs, or what you're going to order is going to cost. Again, please make it sure it's a different meal for each of the meals that you choose. You need to figure out a hotel for each night stay. I know in the past some people have asked about doing an Airbnb. That is also fine. Again, got to figure out the cost. Again, I ask that you take a picture of the cost so that I can see that it actually is a cost and you're not making up numbers as you go. Flight or fuel, you got to figure out if you're going to fly to where you're going or you're going to take a car. And also on your trip, you need to plan to buy one souvenir for your friend. At the end of the planning, you have to create a circle graph for the cost by category of your food, activities, transportation, hotels, and souvenirs. So one piece of your circle graph or your pie chart here needs to be a category for food, a category for activities, transportation, hotels, and souvenirs. The nice thing is if you Google create a pie chart or a circle graph online, you'll probably find creations or online creators for you so that you can just input, I spent $200 on food, I spent $500 on activities, I spent $3,000 in transportation, and that will take that information and put it right into a circle graph or a pie chart for you. You also have to create a line graph for each day of costs. Same thing with the circle graph or the pie chart. You should be able to find a line graph simulator or creator somewhere online, so that should be easy for you to make. Again, for the line graph too, it's just day by day cost. So on day 1, I spent $700. On day 2, I spent $300. Those sorts of things. Here, before we talk about the individual sides, just how you turn your project in, please make sure, as always, when you're quoting prices of things, you take a screenshot of the price and the name of that company so that I can see that you actually found these prices on the respective websites. The snipping tool is very handy for this. Also, with all choices, meals, flights, souvenirs. You need to include a sentence or two explaining each of your choices. So for every choice you make, you need to say, I chose, for instance, to go ziplining because this is something I've always dreamed about doing. I really like heights and the thrill of that sort of activity excites me. Something like that. Again, it can't be, I just chose ziplining because it looked fun. You gotta give me a little bit more than that. Again, you're going to turn this into me via your Google Drive, so you'll just share it with me using Google Slides. And hopefully, again, you've already started all of this. Here's the breakdown for the rubric. Again, I'm sure Mr. Flip went over this last week, but just as a refresher, you got to meet the deadline. So that'd be this Saturday, upcoming Saturday at midnight. Every day that it's late, it looks like it's going to be 5 points off. You got to make sure you're under budget. If you go over budget, you're going to lose points. You got to have each day planned with photos of each expense and photos of each activity. Please make this visually appealing. Lots of photos are always helpful. You got to have the correct calculations for things, explanations of each choice, circle graph and line graph. That's kind of what's going to make up this project. Again, this due date is no longer since things have kind of changed in how we're doing things. This is the first sheet. Again, you should have this, but again, I will post it in case you don't. Here's the second sheet that you should have gotten, or I think it's on the back of your first sheet. If not, again, I'm going to post it here. I just kind of laid out how I would do it if I was making that PowerPoint, just slide by slide to, again, help you make sure you include everything. Again, slide 1, where are you going and why? I'm going to Arizona because maybe I have family there and I want to go visit my family. Or this is somewhere I've always wanted to go. I really like that the weather's always nice there or something like that. Slide 2, how much does it cost to get where you're going, driving or flying with details. Again, please make sure you always put pictures of the actual prices of things. Day 1, food. What kind of food are you going to get? Again, you're going to eat out twice. You got to have 2 restaurants. You got to have 2 pictures of 2 menus. And you got to have explanations for each food choice that you have. Day 1 activity, night 1 hotel. And you repeat for day 2, day 3. You also have to pick out a souvenir that you're going to buy. So I picked this because blank. Again, a picture of the souvenir would be helpful. Transportation costs when you are at your desired location. So maybe you flew and then you got to get a rental car. Or maybe you're taking public transportation. You need to list that there and about what those costs would be. On a slide, you got to have your circle graph and your line graph with interpretation. So tell me what they mean. So maybe for your circle graph, based on this, I see I spent most of my money on transportation or something along those lines. And then finally on the last slide, it'd be really nice if you put a picture of yourself on your trip. You guys know my Photoshop skills in class are just fantastic. I just ask that you try to do the same. Find a picture of somebody at that location. See if you can't snip your head out of somewhere and just put your head on that body or something like that. Please be creative with this. Please make it visually appealing. Again, hopefully you're mostly done. So this first week of online stuff for Math in Action, if you're almost done, might only take you 15 to 20 minutes. If you're somebody that hasn't started this activity, it might take you quite a bit longer. So again, when you are done watching this video, you get points for watching this video, and then you got to make sure that you are just working on your vacation budget project, again, for both days of class this week. Hopefully this made sense to you. If you have any other questions, please let me know. Again, you can always email me at storantflip@gmail.com. Thank you and have a great week. One other quick thing I forgot to add, I'm also on Classroom. I will post an example of a vacation budget presentation that somebody did in previous years. So again, you can go ahead and take a peek at that as well if you need some help in kind of seeing what things should look like. All right, that's it. Bye.